By virtue of their win over the Falcons back in week 4, Boonville has their game here at home and some confidence that they can match up head-to-head with the Falcons. In contrast, last season, Mizzou sported one of the most experienced rosters in the country, and that helped them to a 6-0 start to the season and to wins that helped catapult them into the NCAA tournament. Yeah, Rod, no doubt about it. Blair Oaks and Maryville are no strangers to each other. The two teams have faced off 4 times in the last 3 seasons. That includes last year's Class 3 state championship game. Of course, we know the Falcons won that game last December. University of Missouri President Dr. Moon Choi said it best: business as usual is out the window with the hire of Desiree Reed-Francois. The goal of MU's new AD and the university leadership is to bring championships back to Mizzou. And another cool note about George Ashley, his daughter actually biked with him as well today. She is of age to compete in this event, so you had a little bit of a father-daughter duo thing going on at the Missouri State Senior Games today. Really cool to meet him. He was a very nice man.
Yeah, did he give you any secrets on how he does it?
He says that he just keeps active. I guess I gotta take his advice. No Mexico football team has ever made it to the state championship game. The furthest the Bulldogs have gone was the state Final Four appearance back in 1995. Fast forward 26 years later, this group of Bulldogs relish in the opportunity to make history. It's one of those deals where you don't realize you missed something until it's gone. 2020's edition of SEC Media Days was canceled due to the COVID-19 outbreak that left many of us without a way of getting an early glimpse into the excitement football teams have going into the new campaign. But talking season is back in 2021.
Lance Armstrong said, "You have no chain days," and that's what it feels like. It just feels like there's not a chain on the bike.
In 2019, Rolla native Dennis Knoll seemingly had one of those bike rides in most of his competitive races. But all of that came to a screeching halt one day on a casual cruise.
I'd been having some indigestion, which I'd never had before. Got about 10 miles out, and right in the middle of my chest, size of a softball had hit, and it really hurt. Went to the emergency room. My cardiologist was there, and he ran 4 or 5 tests, said you need to be flown to St. Luke's, and they're going to operate on you when you get there.
Dennis had severe heart blockage, which led to a massive heart attack. To save his life, doctors in St. Louis performed open heart surgery. With his condition, doctors were skeptical if Dennis could ever ride again.
They'd said you should take up something else, and they suggested golf and walking and stuff.
But Dennis's goal was to get back on the bike, and cardiologist Dr. Tim Martin was willing to work with him on a regimented medicine routine. Within 5 months, the 65-year-old returned to racing. 7 months out of surgery, he had already won events in Oklahoma and Louisiana. Now back to doing what he loves, Dennis races regularly in events like the Show Me State Games, and he doesn't take this opportunity for granted.
I race as hard as I possibly can. I mean, just flat out as hard as I can. It's a blessing for God that I got this extra time to see my family and my friends and to do what I enjoy. You can come back and lead any type of life that you want. It's going to take some exercise and some time, but all that makes a difference.
It's often said that softball is a game of inches. That is never more true than for pitchers. And for 37 years, some of Mid-Missouri's best softball pitchers have honed their skills under the tutelage of 78-year-old Bill Creedy.
You start the spin here, and then you finish it with the snap, okay?
A baseball lifer, Bill knew he wanted to teach after his playing days and saw there weren't many softball pitching instructors.
I never pitched. I did find John Bass down at Springfield, and he had quite a reputation for teaching. And some of the things that he taught me way back then I use are pillars of what I teach right now to my students. Excellent.
Bill's students have gone on to have success at the highest levels of the game, some even representing their country. What's best is that no matter the caliber of player, none of them have had to pay Bill a dime for his services.
You know you're working somebody, and they know that you're giving yourself. It's not for money. It's just because you care. When they come here, that's the atmosphere that I like to teach in, the fact that I care about you.
Over his 37 years of teaching, Bill has seen his students become teachers of the game themselves.
I really, enjoy seeing them going on and, and perpetuating things basically and giving back. And a lot of times they'll ask me how much they owe me, and I'll say nothing. I should be paying you, because that's how much I've, enjoyed it and appreciated it.
Passing on the pitching knowledge to the next generation, all for the love of the game. In Countstown, Kevin Ryans, KRCG 13. Texas and Oklahoma are reportedly on the verge of leaving the Big 12. 24/7 Sports reported today that the two schools are set to tell the conference they intend not to renew their grant of rights deals, which expire in 2025. The move could clear the way for UT and OU to potentially join the SEC. The Houston Chronicle this week reporting that both schools reached out to the SEC about joining. 11 of the 14 SEC schools have to vote yes to invite new members. Yahoo Sports reports, as of now, getting the votes for UT and OU doesn't appear to be an issue. Today, the SEC media preseason poll was released. The Mizzou Tigers, off a third-place finish in the East, were picked to finish fourth this season. Maybe some more motivation for Eli Drinkwitz and crew. MU was 5-5 last year in an all-SEC slate after being picked to finish sixth. Alabama and Georgia are the heavy favorites to face off in the conference championship game. Nick Saban and the Crimson Tide are expected to win the SEC. As for the preseason all-SEC teams, Mizzou did have two players named. Trajan Jeffcoat, the all-conference performer last season, was put on the second team, and center Micah Maietti has been named to the third team. What a difference a homestand makes. The St. Louis Cardinals look dead in the water at the All-Star break. 8 games are back in Milwaukee in the division. Now the Birds coming into tonight were a game over 500 and trailed the Brewers by 7 games. Still a steep hill to climb, but momentum nonetheless for St. Louis, visiting the Reds in the first of 3 from Cincinnati tonight. Cards on the board in an eye blink. Paul Goldschmidt. My goodness, this one's ticketed for Cleveland. What a home run. 1-0 St. Louis lead. Top 2, more Birds mashing. Harrison Bader with the Cards down 1, ties it. Solo shot, all knotted up 2 apiece. St. Louis trailing again in the 6th. More clutch hitting. Andrew Kisner clubs one to right center. It bounces over the wall. A grounds rule double gives the Cards the lead. St. Louis led 5-3 at one point, but 3 huge runs late for Cincinnati buried the Cards. Tyler Stevenson, RBI sac fly, ended up being the game winner as the Cards lose a tough one tonight, 6-5 to open the series. Royals off a sweep of Milwaukee, back at home to face the suddenly red-hot Tigers. Detroit, winners of 7 straight games, but not if Whit Merrifield has something to do about it. RBI single to left, the game all knotted up 1-1 at that point. All tied up until the 4th inning. Ryan O'Hearn, that one is not coming back. Way out to center field and gone. 8th of the season, 4-1 KC. More from the long ball for the Royals. Carlos Santana just stays back enough, and this one just gets over the wall. Home run to right field, solo shot. That is all the Royals needed tonight. Kansas City wins the series opener 5-3. In Jefferson City tonight, the Renegades began their final series of the season, a 2-game set with the Joplin Outlaws. It was biker night at the ballpark. A representative of the Mid-Missouri chapter for Bikers Against Child Abuse throwing out the first pitch. Renegade starter Jacob Davis gets his way out of an early jam. Beautiful pickoff move, guns the runner out at second. Very next pitch, Davis with the strikeout swinging, keeps Joplin off the scoreboard. Jeff City's turn to bat, Carter Mize laces one into the left center gap. That plates home 1. Top 2, Joplin gets that run back. An infield single brings in a run. Bonnets Mill native Joseph Kyle-Holtz went deep tonight. The Renegades taking home a 5-2 win. While the NFL season is inching closer, the Hall of Fame game is just a couple of weeks away. Training camp officially begins this coming Wednesday for the Kansas City Chiefs, who got back into their training facility today at St. Joseph. The Chiefs rookies and quarterback arriving over at Missouri Western ahead of the beginning of activities. There's former Mizzou Tiger linebacker and Chiefs second-round draft choice Nick Bolton. He's entering his first training camp. Good news for Kansas City, the 2-time defending AFC champions. There are no physical limitations for former Super Bowl MVP quarterback Patrick Mahomes after turf toe surgery in the offseason.
I've been training, running, throwing, doing everything that I usually do. And I think that was what was so good about going to OTAs and doing those things is I tested it there. I realized I was good. And then when I got back with Bobby and started training in the off season with him, I was able to do what I normally would do. I'm trying to get myself back to be in this position now where I can go into training camp fully healthy. We're going to have to push to be even better this year.
On the COVID front, Chiefs coach Andy Reid said 90% of the team and the entire Chiefs coaching staff have been vaccinated. The NFL announced Thursday that teams could be forced to forfeit a game if a COVID-19 outbreak amongst the unvaccinated causes the game to be postponed. And Ashley Mack is excited to work with Coach Likens and the Mizzou team. He says there's always a better version of yourself, and you can work hard as you can to be able to get to that version of yourself, which is really cool. Really inspiring stuff and really good advice, isn't it?
No excuses.
Absolutely not.